Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is Michael Stone, and he's president and CEO of CertaPro Painters. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thrilled to be here, Adam. Looking forward to our discussion.
All right, Mike. So I definitely want to learn more about CertaPro Painters and really the work that you're doing there in a huge industry, and also the opportunity, right, for individuals to participate as franchisees or otherwise. But before we get into all that, we'd like to start this episode with what we call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Mike, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories and to get them out there to the masses. That's our mission. Mike, what mission matters to you?
Well, my mission is about lifting up the painting industry and helping entrepreneurs build real equity and wealth by being true advocates in their communities for a service that everyone needs to paint. Needs to paint their home or their business, take things that are dull and lifeless and make them beautiful again with a coat of paint. And if you do that in a really productive way and put smiling faces on people, then you're doing well by your community and a service that people need.
Love it. I'm a big fan of painting and the painting industry. I think whenever anybody asks me, like, what is truly my first job ever, I think I must have been 5 years old when my dad put my first paintbrush in my hand. He was and I think I was painting like a hallway or something like that. And I think that's when I earned my first check. The one that didn't have taxes on it, but that might be my first one. So I've always just been a fan. I've always loved painting after that, man.
You didn't get any lollipops. You got cold, hard cash, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't mad at that. And what did I buy as a 5, 6, 7-year-old? Pizza. It was all good. So, so obviously you have an affinity for paint that went into your professional career. When did it start for you? Like, when did, whether it's CertaPro before, just in general, when did you fall in love with the industry?
Well, I don't know that anyone falls in love with painting. What you fall in love with is people, leadership, culture. Painting happens to be our widget or our vehicle to do that. So the first time I cut my teeth in painting, I think I was in high school, and my parents' good friends wanted their house painted, and I took a heat gun and a scraper and scraped all the paint off their house and took a brush and painted the entire siding on their house for several weeks just by myself on a ladder. Pretty basic stuff.
Yeah.
But certainly realized right then and there that that's the service that we need, and there's a lot of wonderful people that do that, and a lot of people get paid pretty well to do it. So that was my first exposure to painting. But believe it or not, what really got me excited about the industry is one of my college friends was running this summer painting business, and I'm driving a Honda Accord and bartending and having a great job and paying my way through college. And in the mid-'90s, he's driving a Toyota Supra with big speakers in the back of his car and pretty damn good quality of life. And he was running a summer painting business.
Wow.
And painting. He just was hiring a bunch of college kids to do it. And then he's buying a CertaPro painting franchise in 98, and he convinced me to come join him in San Diego, and we became one of the largest franchises very quickly, and that's when I saw the incredible opportunity in our, and the true fragmentation that really is going on. I mean, there's thousands of people that do painting, but very few do it as an organized business, and our business model really is suited to help people go into business for themselves, but not by themselves. That's the beauty of franchise, Adam.
Yeah, and I want to go further into the franchise part, but let's keep it kind of high level for a moment longer. When we say painting, I don't want to assume that everybody knows. Are we talking residential only, for CertaPro specifically? Residential, commercial, offices, all of the above? Like, give us a flavor for just the general offerings before we get into the franchising side of things.
Yeah. So we do residential interior painting, residential exterior painting. We do commercial painting, like retail settings, like we paint a bunch of Walmarts or banks. We paint a bunch of associations, apartment communities, hallways, hospitality, government work. So we focus primarily on the repaint segment. So mostly repainting. We don't do a lot of new construction painting, and that's where we have a ton of success, and that's our sweet spot.
Yeah. Is there, and when you say like fragmented and otherwise in thousands of, I mean, like I've read numbers and not holding you to this, but the painting industry is huge, right? Like tens of billions of dollars, right? Like the huge industry.
Yeah. So CertaPro will satisfy about 125 to 130,000 customers this year, north of $700 million in painting.
Wow, that's a lot of paint. Hold on, I want to let that sink in for a moment. That's a lot of jobs, man. That's a lot of paint. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of painting, and we buy a lot of paint from our great strategic partner, Sherwin-Williams. But Sherwin-Williams is a $20 billion company, and the repaint space, we've got it pegged, just the segments I was just talking to you about, is around $60 billion annually in the United States. So we have less than market share. That, just to give you perspective, right? Less than 2% of the painting we own. Just shows you how much fragmentation, because we're significantly larger than our next competitor, and it just speaks to the opportunity. You can really grow and build a business as big as you want if you have great leadership skills, you follow a good business plan, you market and you execute, and you build a great management team. But what an incredible opportunity for wealth creation, equity, and making an impact, as I said, in your community.
And that's a lot of jobs. You're talking about a lot to put that. That's a lot of just jobs that CertaPro is providing for the painters, right? Like that's a huge amount of individuals.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it. We help keep painters busy. They get a steady pay. They get treated with respect. It's an awesome opportunity to partner with amazing human beings that take things that are dull and lifeless and they make them beautiful again with a coat of paint, right? I mean, how cool is that?
And what do you think part of the success is for CertaPro? Like, what do you think has kind of made it stick out and even be able to chip off a couple percent from that huge industry? What do you think the success is?
Well, first off, you want to align with people that support your core values. So we really look for franchise owners, staff, corporate support members that deliver on their promises, have pride in what they do, respect the individual, practice continuous improvement, embrace the possibility. So we can teach people about the painting industry. That's not the hard part. The hard part is finding people that want to lead and get great results through others. That's easier done. Doing it in the construction industry, if that resonates. But I can tell you, man, there is nothing more gratifying than seeing the incredible craftsmanship of a home or a building that really looks awful, and then you freshen it up with a coat of paint. It just really makes a difference.
Speak from the franchisor's standpoint for a bit longer. For the individuals that have maybe considered owning a franchise in general, and maybe don't have experience in painting or otherwise, or maybe even in construction, are they still able to potentially like come into the system as a franchisee, or are you looking for something different? Like, give us a flavor for that, just the type of person you feel is the right one to lean in with.
Yeah, first off, we are not looking for people who have got experience in the painting industry. We're looking, like I said, people who maybe they're a mid-level manager at a Fortune 500 company. Their business has been consolidated. Maybe they got acquired by somebody else. They've been through 2 rounds of acquisitions and layoffs, and they want to really be in control of their future. And a franchise business model where we'll teach them everything they need to know about painting, and they're probably going to bring a wealth of experience of management and leadership, and they get the beauty of 80 plus support people supporting these 350 franchise owners. They get a business coach, they get state-of-the-art software, they get a marketing coach, they get an in-house ad agency, they get leverage buying power, they get just a wealth of tools and resources that are going to propel them to success. I mean, that's why you buy a franchise. It's a proven model. And if they follow it, and that if you talk to our franchise owners when you do your validation calls, they say just follow the program and you grow and run a big profitable business. And that's exciting to see. Frankly, I've been in a franchise I've now had the great fortune to have almost every role working in the franchisor to support franchisees' success. I'm done being the CEO and will likely be a multi-billion-dollar company in the next 10 years, is I could see path going back to being a franchise owner, because I still see it being just an incredible path towards making an impact, like I said, in your community, providing great jobs, providing great service, and, you know, making a really nice income for you and your family. And then the beauty of a franchise is you buy it so you can eventually sell it, right? And that better than anyone else in our space. And so people do realize the equity they've built.
Wow, that's amazing, and can hold that value too, right? Because if they've been, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if they've been operating in that franchise system, then sometimes some of the people that may be purchasing it might be other franchisees, right? Like, so sometimes there's a built-in market for that.
We have other franchisees that buy their neighbors. We have people that work in their business that buy the business from the others. Outside people who want to buy an existing business that already has cash flow coming in and want to scale and grow it and make their own wealth to make more money. And we buy them from our franchise owners as a corporate entity and turn them into corporate stores. So there's lots of paths to have your business sold and be successul. So, I mean,
I like that you bring that up, that there's other paths, because sometimes, especially when somebody's entering a business and they're not with the avatar that you mentioned, that's maybe an executive or otherwise, and they're looking for, well, when's my exit, or what does that look like? It's good to have options, right? To know that you can possibly realize that value down the line when you choose to.
That is a huge part of the equation. I want people to have clarity of vision and mission, and part of it is you start to know what is your end game in mind when you start your business, right? And you may not know what it is, but you want a vision plan that does support that, and we obviously want to play a huge role in helping them have that success.
Talk to me about geographies. Like, is this nationwide in certain states? Are there certain opportunities available? Like, talk to me about geographies.
Yeah, really good question. That's one of the reasons why I'm on with you today is, so we're operating around 500 territories in North America. So we have, probably 25, 30 operations in Canada, and then the remaining 470 or so in the U.S. Open territories, so you can start a franchise from scratch. We have some open territory in Long Island, New York, Detroit, Michigan, some in Toronto, San Francisco, L.A. Those are some of the bigger markets where we still have some open territories. And then we have resales where, remember, somebody's built up a nice, healthy business in pretty much every major market, because eventually, like I said, our franchise owners, they get closer to retirement, they want to sell their businesses, and there's 4 different paths, at least right now, where they can do that. But those are some of the areas we're looking to fill out, and we have incredible opportunities in the markets I just kind of informed you about. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Mike, so one of the things I like to do as we kind of round out towards the end of these interviews is I like to dream for a moment. You know, we're a big entrepreneur, big executive audience. What's next? Like, what's next for the company? Let's dream a little.
Well, we just added a core value called Embrace the Possibilities. And so we see our company probably tripling in size over the next 7 to 10 years.
Amazing.
A big piece of that is, remember, we have less than 2% market share, so there's plenty of opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
But how people buy from us, the Gen Zs, the millennials, as they start buying residential paint jobs, they're going into the buying market. When interest rates come down, look, I've been through 2 recessions, a global pandemic, and now we're a little bit off economy. And every time we get through one of those periods, we have massive growth on the other side. So we're poised here. The Fed in the U.S. is going to lower interest rates late this year, maybe early next year, and you're going to see another swell of growth in the painting industry again. And it's a great time to buy a franchise. But we're investing a lot in tech. We have the incredible mobile estimating apps, how we communicate with customers. People buy without even having us come out to their homes. There's a lot of ways you can upload pictures of the house. There's Google Earth. We're thinking and doing some things with painting robotics. I mean, there's just so much to get excited about, to embrace the possibilities of how our brand will continue to evolve, innovate, and make CertaPro painters indispensable for our franchise owners, and it'll continue to elevate the equity they're building.
Man, that's amazing. And as you're saying these things, you're kind of blowing my mind, because if you think about a fragmented industry, an industry as old as painting, number one, in the United States, but also a fragmented industry like that, when you think about aligning yourself with a brand like CertaPro, which already is doing very well and it's large, but there's so much room for growth. And the things that you're talking about, implementing technology, like smaller companies are not necessarily going to be able to keep up. Nobody's going to have their own app. They're not going to be doing all these other things. It's going to be the same status quo that you were kind of getting a paint job estimated on 30 years ago. It's the same thing today. So to have these other things implemented and for buying preferences, that's just going to make it so much easier. And I'm excited, man. I see it when you're talking about these technologies and vision and the future of the company. I see it, because that's even cool to me. I'm I've always wondered about when these things were going to be brought to the industry, and based on what you're telling me, sounds like soon.
It's soon, and I can hear the excitement in your voice, and I hope your listeners realize that this is such a unique opportunity. Rare, if ever, do you get to be the largest player in your space, have 2% share, and have a runway of growth that's based on your aptitude, your energy, your investment, your risk tolerance, but it's not because the opportunity isn't there, right? So what exciting time to be a part of CertaPro Painters. I like I said, I get jazzed just thinking about it, talking about it with you, with others. I'm blessed every day to say that I get to work in this industry around amazing people that want to support our franchise owners and their team's success. We're making a difference in the communities we serve by providing a service that's absolutely necessary.
Amazing. Mike, if somebody's listening to this and they want to follow up and connect with your team at CertaPro, how do they do that?
CertaPro.com, right? CertaPro.com. There's a link on there that'll take them to franchise opportunities. But if nothing else, type in your zip code and get a free estimate and see the experience in person. I mean, we're doing estimates, iPhones and tablets, and taking pictures and uploading them and showing people before and afters before they even do the painting by overlaying color to show them what it could look like. So neat stuff coming, and we'd love your audience to participate and learn more about CertaPro.
Perfect. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll put all the links in the show notes so that you can just click on the link and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, we encourage you, hit that subscribe button or that follow button. This is a daily show, so each and every day we're bringing you new entrepreneurs, new executives, new business owners, new opportunities, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along in your journey as well. Again, if that sounds interesting to you, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Mike, thank you so much again for coming on the show. Really enjoyed learning more about CertaPro and connecting.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Adam.